Man, to do that in 2 days is wild. 1965 engine when it stopped being produced to a 2025. Here she is. Brand new.
First we were going to go on an epic flight, then we were going to hang an engine, and then we were going to jump in the ocean. And we just accomplished number 3, so now we're just going to go relax by the fire. Absolutely on cloud 9, getting to fly a float plane in Alaska, and that's exactly what we're about to do. So hopefully today we get to lay eyes on the Knik Glacier.
It's full of adventure. It's all about the outdoors. It's overwhelmingly beautiful. I think it's one of my favorite places in the world.
It can be a challenging place to fly, so there's all kinds of new variables that you introduce to yourself, and I think that type of learning makes you an infinitely better pilot.
In part 2 of our Alaskan adventure, we left Anchorage to drive down to Homer, Alaska, to help Chris Palmer from Angle of Attack remove the old engine from his 1963 Cessna 172 and install a Stutes Aviation IO370 Prime, bringing this Skyhawk from a carbureted 145 horsepower to a fuel-injected 180 horsepower beast. While we were in Homer, we flew with Marty in his Stutes-equipped Cessna 170, jumped in the ocean on summer solstice, and topped the trip off with shooting our engagement photos against the backdrop of The Last Frontier. Our trip is winding down to an end, and we're leaving Homer behind us as we begin the drive back to Anchorage to catch our flight back to the lower 48 in the morning. But we're not leaving Alaska behind us without one more flight in a seaplane to a spot we've always heard about, but never explored until today. Welcome to part 3. Well, we're coming to an end of our trip here in Alaska, and we've come back to Lake Hood here at Anchorage International Airport. Just heard a big jet spool up over there. It's always interesting getting the mix of commercial aviation happening right over there and general aviation happening here, which is what we're about to embark on in this Piper Pacer on straight floats. We have a little bit of a plan together today. We're going to take off in this Pacer, all 3 of us, Chelsea, myself, and the instructor Blake here at Alaska Floats and Skis. We're gonna take off out of Lake Hood and do something that I've always heard is an awesome thing to do here in Anchorage if you're able to get up in a general aviation airplane. That is go up the Knik Valley and look at the Knik Glacier. There's a lot of traffic in that area. Airplanes are at different altitudes coming and going. You kind of maintain safe separation in that regard, but supposedly it's a little hectic in there, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So that's what we're gonna do today in this Piper Pacer.
Our trip obviously did not go as originally planned, and that is okay. We found tons of fun things to do to fill our time here in Alaska, and we are already planning our next trip. Already looking forward to the return visit. It's so special being here in Alaska. Josh and I visited Alaska in 2021, and it was one of my favorite trips of all time. And so it was really special, not only getting to come back to Alaska, but getting to share Alaska with my parents, getting to see them go up in a float plane and fly out of Lake Hood was the cherry on top. And then also getting to spend a lot of time with our friend Chris Palmer and his sweet family. We had an amazing flight in a beautiful Stutes converted Cessna 170 with our pilot and soon-to-be A&P mechanic Marty. Visiting Alaska to any capacity, even if you don't get off the ground in a general aviation aircraft, is such a treat. Everywhere you look is a picture-perfect environment. Beautiful mountaintops, majestic streams. It's full of adventure. It's all about the outdoors. It's so wild and untamed and overwhelmingly beautiful. I think it's one of my favorite places in the world. We're already planning our return trip, which I'm so excited for, and although this trip did not go as planned, it's been very sweet and very special, and we're gonna end it with a flight in this beautiful Piper Pacer followed by dinner with some friends and an early morning check-in for our flight tomorrow.
Pre-flight's complete and we got all the cameras rigged. He just pumped the floats out, and this will be a good refresher for myself on floats, especially in a Piper Pacer. It's been about 4 years since I've flown one of these airplanes on floats. Last week, before we left Anchorage to go down to Homer, Chelsea's parents got the opportunity to fly with this same instructor, Blake, in this same airplane. And they went across the Cook Inlet just to the west of Anchorage here, and they did some splash and goes and some lakes over there. And Chelsea's dad, Mark, got to sit up front, and he was just absolutely on cloud nine, getting to fly a float plane in Alaska, and that's exactly what we're about to do right here at Lake Hood next to Anchorage International Airport. So hopefully today we get to lay eyes on the Knik Glacier. So when we fire up the engine, you said it's going to weather vane to the left.
It's going to weather vane to the left, so if we have to, we absolutely have to, we can add a ton of power to turn right and get around the corner. There's
Okay.
no one around the corner right now, so we're good to go. Biggest concern is...
Are you good to go?
Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and get the master switch on.
Okay.
Boom. I'll let you turn the lights on too. I start them before I get the engine drink. Oh, absolutely. That'd be fantastic. Good. That'd be great. Let me try like a little, just ever so slightly easier. Crank it. We're prop.
Delta, just to confirm we're cleared across north south.
Number 2 in Delta, affirmative.
There we go. We're kind of going to get in front of him and get behind the buoys on that side, and then we'll do a run up. I'm going to keep it under 1,000 RPM until we do a run up, but we can go to up to 1,000.
Okay.
And then we'll see our oil temp come up. I wait till it's about 75 before I do the run up. But like I said, you know, sometimes if you have to do a plow turn, you might have to give it a bunch of gas.
That's 5 Hotel Papa, wind
Cool.
150 at...
And you can go ahead and get your door shut now if you want. Okay. You're buckled in the back.
I
check.
am.
We're buckled in the front. And we'll go ahead and kind of go through our taxi checklist. So I already set 2977 for altimeter, instruments. Everything looks clear. Looking good. VSI is not moving. Airspeed indicator is not showing anything like it should right now. Gas is on both. And we'll go ahead. We're almost warmed up to do a run up. We're going to kind of turn into the wind in a second. I'm going to let us go a little further before we turn in. We'll be able to make a pretty sharp left turn, and the weather vaning should help us here. It should swing us right around.
So we're just staying on the outside of the buoys.
Yep, we're staying on this side of the buoys, and we'll do the run up here, and then we'll tell them when we're ready to go. So cool. We're going to get pretty far down, so I'm going to go ahead and do the run up now. We spin around, we get pushed into those guys, and it's moving up. So fixtures rich, carb beats in. I'm going to go full aft on the yoke. We're going to go to about 1,500 RPM. We're going to do a slightly lower run up just so we don't take off out of here.
Concern
1,500, 1, 2.
Kilo, slide the Tudor overpass
Back to
departure. And are you going to be northbound after the overpass or southbound?
Back to both. We're going to be southbound. Carb beat on. Turn again. Idle.
Number 73 Kilo, departure frequency then will be 126.460125.
There you go. Idles, fixtures rich, everything looks good. And that's our run up. Seatbelts, egress, we talked about it on the ground before we got inside. And there's a fire extinguisher in the back if you need to use it. Sweet. Before takeoff, make sure car peak flaps are getting one on flaps. And then area is clear around it, so we're going to request takeoff, and we're going to pull the water at
target evening traffic, 11 o'clock in a mile opposite direction, and 11 o'clock in 2 miles northbound.
The water runway is to the right.
Channel for southeast?
Yes, to the right.
Target, on the channel for the southeast for Regal 7
Amplified Tower, flip pace 0021 Delta is ready southeast.
Pitch 21 Delta southeast, clear for takeoff.
Southeast, clear for takeoff. So we'll turn ourselves into the wind. I'll pull the water rudder up. 3 kilo, holding short. We're ready. We're going to kind of weather vane here.
Number 73 Kilo, ready to be
And make sure we're not hitting the buoys. We're good. Go ahead and go full power. You can hold the yoke. And we're going to go first rise, second rise, and we'll neutralize the control. So we're going to work our way towards. So there you go.
Like a Jack Air
Full power.
X-rays, Whiskey Charlie for the water.
First rise. Looks beautiful.
X-ray, Lake Kid,
Second rise. Just ease it off. There we go. Both sides really speed up. Turn it just touch through up.
Channel for southeast.
Beautiful. Hold back a little more. Just come off the water. Just a touch more. There we go. We're flying. We're the news. Just a bit. We'll shoot for about 70, 75. Cool. Climb out.
Let's go taxi southeast to be northbound.
Beautiful. Once we get out of here, we'll get cruise configured, maybe climb up a little bit. So we'll end up kind of hugging the mountain the whole way out here because we'll stay to the right side of Elmendorf's restricted airspace. Okay. And we'll just be like right on the right side of the highway all the way up kind of the river, the same road you would take if you were going to Palmer.
Gotcha, okay.
When we get down here, we'll be able to go down probably, I'll say we'll go down to about 1,500 and we'll kind of go up towards the glacier and circle around the glacier. What we can expect when we go up there, there's a lot of traffic at Birchwood that we're working our way up to. It'll be along the highway, you'll see the airport up there.
Okay.
So we might make a call when we pass there, traffic dependent. And as we get closer to Palmer, there's a lot of traffic in and out of Palmer.
The Big Island 1,400.
It'll kind of ease off for a little bit, and then we'll get up towards the Knik Glacier. And there's a lodge up here on this road, Alaska Glacier Lodge. There's a bunch of helicopters coming in and out. So the biggest traffic, like avoidance, is going to be with helicopters. You'll see like a lot of R-44s, a few A-Stars, and then Rust brings the beavers and stuff in there occasionally.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll be able to go up to Lake George. The military's got a little TFR around the end of Lake George where they do some training. So we can go all around the lake just as long as we're not right up on the Colony Glacier.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we'll just taxi back to 0 right.
Did you notice with the controls, does it feel a little squirrelier than some of the planes you fly?
Yeah.
Burger traffic.
It is. That's the short tail the short tail throws you off. I tell everyone, like, if you initiate a turn, you can initiate with a little bit of aileron. As soon as you're established, just hold it with the rudder. Like, it's not like a Cessna you just crank into the turn.
Right.
This thing has so much adverse yaw. If you can actually see, if you take the control right now and you go, like, hard to the left and hard to the right,
yeah.
the nose just, I mean, the nose goes so far across the horizon.
Right.
It's kind of nuts. I haven't flown a mall, but I imagine it's probably similar to a mall.
Yeah. What is your favorite thing about flying in Alaska?
I think just the terrain, like the geography, like the mountains. I love the mountains so much, and it's just a blessing to be back in the mountains. Yeah, it's like I told you before, I lived in British Columbia for a couple of years, and I loved being in the mountains. And this is, I mean, the Chugach Range is about as close to that as you can get. I'm sure, like the drive down to Homer, and if you go to Seward, it's just phenomenal. And so getting to fly through all these mountain passes and links,
Romeo is right down the way.
That's awesome. And the flying culture here is so active. Everyone out here is a pilot. Everyone's flying. People are doing a lot of fun things. It's a very exciting place. There's so many unique airplanes that you will not see anywhere in the lower 48 that are just everywhere here. It's always like in the lower 48, it's a treat to see a Avalon Beaver, and up here, you know, dime a dozen. There's 1,000 of them.
Yeah, up here they're not show ponies. Like these are working planes.
Yep. And you'll notice most planes up here are all workhorses.
Yeah.
So it's certainly a very unique culture. Just everything's inaccessible, and that's both fun, and also you have to have like a huge respect for it. Because the terrain and the weather isn't exactly friendly. It's really unique though.
And Birchwood area traffic.
You can see a Klutna Lake just right there, so we might be able to get up in there and go out and come back.
Southeast. We are inbound for landings for 20.
Birchwood traffic, Skyline and Romeo is right base 20 right, Birchwood.
The clouds are hiding some of the big mountains in the background, but behind the mountain in front of us, which is actually kind of just seen up to Mount Good right now, but higher up and behind us is the tallest mountain in the Chugach Range, Mount Marcus Baker, and it's I think a little over 13,000 feet. Wow. So this is kind of, the clouds in those mountains are kind of hiding an even bigger one that sits behind it, kind of to the left of where we're aiming right now.
Okay.
These mountains are kind of covering it too, but we'll see. If we get up there, we might be able to see it. We'll kind of fly in, and then we'll go kind of over Inner Lake George, and we'll see the Colony Glacier. Being vigilant to stay off the end of the glacier, because there's a little TFR there.
Gotcha.
The military ops I think it's like a medical training op for the, like, lane or rappelling onto the glacier.
Okay. That's really cool. Gosh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, when we round the bend, you'll see two glaciers, so we'll have both glaciers kind of like announced in front of us, the Colony Glacier and the Knik Glacier. And then the backside of the Chugach Range, which a lot of this side still has a lot of snow on it, which is just phenomenal. Then we'll kind of go around Inner Lake George, and then we'll descend a little bit, a little closer to the glacier. I always like to give myself an out. We have a river beneath us, so there's a spot to land, but there's no guarantee how deep it is, so you don't want to get down there and then flip on a sandbar. And then like with glacier lakes, like Inner Lake George, it's a common landing spot for people, but it takes really favorable conditions, like in this photo actually, where all the ice is pushed to one side. This morning it was floating all around the lake, so winds are kind of variable.
Okay.
But it's always a little bit of a risk to land at glacier lakes because you don't have depth perception to the bottom of the lake. It also looks flatter when you're landing on it, so it's a little more like a glassy water landing if there's not a ton of texture.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't see any of the ice flows. So if there's stuff like under the water and you're not absolutely sure the wind is just blasting into one side of the lake, it's just always better to be cautious because the ice will just punch a hole clean in your pontoon, and then your best case scenario pulled up on the shore and no.
Right.
Never a good day to bend metal.
No. Man, that's beautiful. Wow.
2 helicopters being maneuvering land, the medium correction, can't point on side, low level.
Yeah, there was some flat spots between you and I a couple days ago.
Float pace rate 021 Delta over top of Picnic Strip 2000. We are southeast bound towards Inner Lake George. We'll be circling Inner Lake George. Yeah, so you can see, like, we can see some of the ice flows, but you can't see there's little stuff that's like, I mean, like the size of your shoe, and like, that'll just, if you hit it, you know, touch down, you're doing like 50 to 65, you'll just get blasted.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful, oh my god.
It is.
It's unreal fun. You can see how you enjoy it living, like I enjoy living up here.
Right.
This is just, it's unreal getting to do this.
Are you ever going to be able to leave?
I don't think so, honestly. There's a few places I really like. I really like Kauai and Hawaii. I really love Alaska. I love British Columbia. But this is like some of my favorites. Alaska has a really good variety. You get the ocean, you get the mountains, you get the glaciers, glacier lakes. It's very, very unique. You want to follow the shore for as long as you can, and then you can cross the lake, but minimize the time over the center of it. This is a big lake too, so if for some reason you did have an emergency and had to land in the middle of it, you would be paddling forever.
Yeah.
Like this lake, it's deceivingly large. It's almost 3.5 miles across. Wow. Where we are right now.
Oh my god. Wow.
Here comes the wind from the and this is perfect. We're staying outside. There's just for, I think this TFR comes online occasionally, but it's just for the toe of the glacier right there. I don't know if they land helicopters. I have an idea that they probably do crevasse rescue. They probably drop guys off, and then they probably intentionally get stuck, and then patches point out of the crevasses, because that's some gnarly stuff. Those are huge. They're like, I don't know if they're quite 100 feet tall, but when I saw the plane next to the end of that glacier, I mean, the plane, like, took up like a 16th of that, like, those blocks. They're just massive.
Yeah.
So, it's, yeah, it's pretty wild. And then we'll kind of fly straight out, and we can kind of go over the toe of that glacier. Depending on what shot you want, we can go towards the water, or if we stay over the middle of the glacier, it'd be a little higher, give yourself some more room for...
You're gonna go up to 2,000?
Yeah, sure. Do that. Always have a contingency plan, so... engine stops working, where are you gonna go? We have a lot of water out here, so.
Yeah. I'm never opposed to more altitude.
Yep. I'll reach up just for a second as we climb. Yeah, so the clouds are shrouding out Mount Marcus Baker. It's further behind those mountains and significantly taller. Like the peak would jut out above these guys, but they're kind of blocking it right now.
Oh, okay.
Knik traffic, float pacer 021 Delta. We're over the toe of the Knik at 2000, and we're going to be westbound, northwestbound. Yeah, all of this is super visual flying. It's very tactile, very much that feel, and very much looking outside, seeing what's going on.
Oh my gosh, the spires of ice.
There's some little ice lakes like behind us that are just so blue.
Yeah.
Like crazy on our right. You see those things? You can bank the wing if you want.
I got a glimpse of them back there, yeah.
That's so wild.
It's like blue Gatorade. A very vibrant color.
Out here you'll find a lot of guys for weather because this side of the valley is pretty protected as far as weather information, but once you get to kind of the Denali side of the valley, outside of Talkeetna, and down towards the Padrillos, there's no information, so everyone relies on the FAA weather cam. And it's fantastic source of information because you can see what a clear day looks like, what a murky day looks like, and get a gauge on the highest obstacles in the distance to see what the cloud layers are doing. That and windy. Fantastic.
Yeah, lots of great resources out there. Gosh, it was a different world flying in Alaska with none of this technology.
I can't even imagine. Like,
add respect to
all the OG bush pilots. I don't know how they did it.
With their eyes.
Yep.
They could smell the weather.
Exactly. I'm not there yet. We're working on it.
Working on it.
There's picnic strip on our left, like just against the river. It's a little runway.
Is there a float plane in the water?
Huh?
Oh no, it's an iceberg. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I haven't seen one in that. I've seen them in the inner Lake George. I haven't seen it at the actual base of the Knik.
We'll be ready to get any sort of downdrafts that catch us off guard, but we'd probably get updrafts if I had to guess. If I had to guess. You've done this a lot more than me.
It's really a toss-up.
Depending on which way it comes from.
Do you feel like you've started to really get the weather patterns down up here, and you're starting to see the difference between the weather here and in the lower 48?
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's really localized here with the mountains and the ocean. The tides kind of bring some weather with it. It almost feels like closer to Anchorage. And then the valley has like a mind of its own. Like Wasilla and Palmer is always doing something different. This area stays kind of windy. They're just, I don't know. It's very like localized weather systems. I often find some place will be reporting something, and then, like 2 miles away, it's like completely different conditions. So, yeah, it definitely takes almost a cautious getting up there. If it's clear where you are and seeing if where you want to go is going to be clear or not. And it's not just making that no shame call to just turn back and go home. But there's very little information. Flying in Tennessee in comparison to this, like in the afternoons we have like a lot of localized thunderstorms. I don't see that as much here. On a hot day you'll see it a little bit. And I would see a lot of fog in Tennessee in the mornings. I haven't noticed that as much here either, so. I've also done some flying in California, like Northern California, Central California, and yeah, every place you go is different.
I got hooked on aviation initially living in British Columbia. My friend took me on a ride in a helicopter that they had on leaseback, an R66, and it kind of blew my mind, and I was like, this is a blast. I would love to do this for the rest of my life. Fixed wing was the most affordable route. I got into flying planes, and then I had so much fun on planes, I didn't have any desire to transition. And yeah, I taught in Tennessee for a couple of years in Chattanooga for a company called Crystal Air and had an amazing, amazing experience. And then I've been blessed with the opportunity to come up to Alaska, and this is my first season teaching on floats.
Yeah, been really blessed. Super grateful. Aviation, there's a lot of amazing people in it, and I hope I can pass that on to others.
That's amazing. So you got your float rating at Alaska Floats and Skis.
Yep.
CFI'd, and now you're back here at Alaska Floats. CFIing, it's like a full circle.
Yep.
That's amazing.
I guess the initial reason for getting into aviation is I'm a very adventurous person and I like traveling. I like doing things that most people don't, and aviation felt like an extension of that. Coming up to Alaska was like a very extreme version of aviation. I kind of wanted to follow a career that likely it was going to be seasonal for a long time. I've never had major aspirations for airlines, although I do highly respect it. I think, as for myself, I enjoy more tactile and like dynamic types of flying. I love general aviation and I intend to stay a part of that for the majority of my career if I can. Long term, I really would like to get into aerial firefighting. I just think that's the culmination of low-level flying skills and flying big planes. It's like the merger of both, so you get to do all the fun things. I don't know if I'll get there. I don't know where I'll end up going with my aviation journey. I think there's going to be lots of opportunities that arise out of it, and so I may change my mind as I go, but as of now, long term, I think I'd like to get into aerial firefighting. Float planes is kind of a transition or an intro into that, especially on planes like water bosses that are amphibious. They want you to have float plane time, and then they want you to have crop dusting and low-level flight experience. So hopefully I can get into crop dusting after this and maybe snowball that into career firefighting in the long term. So.
Lakewood Tower, Float Glacier here, 21 Delta is at Tudor Bend with information, Delta inbound to the water.
We're 2 in Delta, Lakewood Tower Port, Tudor overpass for southeast.
Low report, Tudor overpass for southeast, 21 Delta. 21 Delta is overpass.
We're 2 in Delta, southeast, clear to land.
Southeast, clear to land, 21 Delta. There you go, so you can just gradually work your way to the right, kind of, and then slow yourself down a little bit. We'll start to richen the mixture up. Bring it back. So yeah, we did our woods, we got our boat pint mixtures rich. You can cycle the car beat if you want for a second, just check it. Hold it, let it simmer. Looks good, nothing's really melting off. And then our gas is still on both tanks. You're in flap up for any range, you can get the first notch of flaps if you want. And then we'll just turn behind this guy, so you can go ahead and start turning and start descending too. We can get quite a bit lower. You watch this rest plane, this will actually be a good reference for landing. Okay. Go to left rudder, there you go. Okay, and kind of watch what he does, because he'll kind of set the precedent for kind of how low he's going to go over the buildings. Yes, he's the expert, so.
Face over the south shoreline at 700.
Okay, we're still looking now for 665 over coming up on mid-channel.
21 Delta, just confirm we'll play land southeast.
We're 2 in Delta, from the southeast clear to land.
So.
We're 66 Bravo, your traffic short final, southeast clear to land number 2.
Clear to land number 2 for 6650 southeast. So to the right of that yellow building?
Yep. Right. Yep, just to the right. There's like 2 yellow buildings, but the more yellow one just to the right of that. And you can just kind of bank and let yourself, you can get a little lower, just a touch. That's kind of good, and then we'll get steeper towards the end, and that's when we'll kind of drop the nose down, like you probably remember doing with Dawn.
Yeah.
So we'll turn in. It's going to be a touch of a crosswind on the landing.
Cool.
Power's out all the way, because we're fast.
And full flaps.
Yep, go for it. Bingo. I'll be... I have to bring that nose up. A little more, a little more. Boom.
Like a tower.
And then we'll slow down and we'll turn to the left.
Departure.
And then let's go ahead and drop the flaps, drop the water rudders.
2 to both left. Shore, looking for northbound departure.
I'm going to open the doors. You can unlatch your seatbelts. I'll tell you when on the mixture. I'm going to take my headset off. Okay.
I'll just have you go in that way. We'll just mark that, makes it a little easier because we'll put it close in. Okay, excuse me. Set the right rudder. Right rudder. bounce. It's off.
Tags are off.
There you go, master off.
It's off.
Sweet.
All right.
And backing you around the corner, you can pull the water rudders up. Just make sure your feet are straight when you do so. Perfect.
If you want to do it as a temporary career, I highly recommend coming up here. There is so much that you'll see and be exposed to. So many wise people that have been doing it for so long and have so many stories and so many experiences. And Alaska is, it can be a challenging place to fly. So there's all kinds of new variables that you introduce to yourself. And I think that type of learning makes you an infinitely better pilot in the long term. AlaskaFloatsandSkis.com. We got a website, we have social media. You can reach out to us and we'll throw you on the schedule. Pretty available. We have a couple different planes. They change year to year on leasebacks, but currently we have a Tri-Pacer, and this is kind of our flagship. This is the one that we do all the float ratings in and where we take the most cool places. So if you're ever interested, you can reach out to Alaska Floats and Skis and they will put me in contact with you if you're interested in coming up here. And I highly advise doing a float rating. And if you don't want to do a float rating, we're always open to doing specialized training on an individual one-on-one basis for hourly instruction. And so you can come up here and we can just take you up really interesting places to teach you about mountain flying, bush flying, and obviously about flying on floats.
Our good friend Kevin met us at the airport dock when we taxied back in. He's a fantastic photographer in Alaska, and he also runs the Lake Hood Life Instagram, where he posts immersive photos conveying the pure magic that this place is. We exchanged contacts with Blake to stay in touch, and went out for pizza and beers with Kevin for our last night in the 49th state. And just like that, 14 days have come and gone, and we're dragging our suitcases to the gates that will take us back to reality. This time, it's a bit of an emotional goodbye to Alaska. We've been planning this trip for a long time. Now that we're on the back side of it, we're reflecting on what this trip was supposed to be, but remaining grateful for what it was, and we have the greatest souvenir to remember it. I encourage you to plan a trip that's outside the ordinary for you. Go somewhere new, make new friends or see old ones, learn a new skill, live a new experience, and break out of your comfort zone. This is a wrap of our Alaskan adventure in the summer of 2025. It's now mid-October, and we're back to the Sling TSI build to take it across the finish line, all the way to test flights and the maiden voyage home. In the next video, Chelsea and I take our first look at our freshly painted plane in Torrance, California. And we're continuing the Sling TSI build series to completion right here on Aviation 101. Until then, fly safe.